Hey everyone, it's Jen with ChappyPlans. Thanks for joining me for another December daily video. If you'd like to see what I'm going to do, stick around. Hey friends, it's Jen with ChappyPlans. I hope you guys are having a great day today. I'm so excited to be in my December daily album again. I have been literally pumping out the content like nonstop, and when the creativity's flowing, it's a good sign. So I'm just going to keep with it. Today I'm going to share stories 25 and 26, which obviously I'm going to do 25 about Christmas. So I've sort of pre-planned what I want to do. So I took inspiration from the community, of course, because it's the best, and decided to do another grid with these larger squares. So this was a, 10 by 8 paper, or not 10 by 8, but like full-sized sheet of paper, like letter-sized sheet of paper. And I wanted it to be over 2 pages, so because I know I had a lot of photos from Christmas, so I cut it as close as I could down the middle, and then I put, I had this vellum left from a different story, I think story 21, and so I'm going to have that be the inside part, so I don't have to put holes in the photos, because I thought about doing that, but then I was like, oh, but then I'll have to put holes in these photos, and I don't want to do that. So we're going to give this a try and see what happens. I've already printed out my photos. I sized them in Canva. I do need to trim them down just a little bit, but I have this photo of Laurel, which has been already in story 23, about her favorite gifts, but it's like a hidden photo, so I thought it'd be fun to feature it, and this is on Christmas Day. Then my husband warming himself by the fire, which is a literal like wood stove that they use every year, so, and he just loves to stand there and get warm and like have, be on his phone watching sports. So that's like, he spends a lot of mornings doing that, so I thought, oh, let me capture him in his natural element, which is, that's why his face is like, what the heck, he's in his pajamas, and so that's kind of funny. And I'm thinking of using these circles. This is from the add-on, these little transparency shapes from the die cuts, I think. And then this is from the Explore Story Kit. I'm going to cover up, I'm going to try to just cover up the hot air balloon, but it's the perfect shade of red, and it says Today's Adventure, which goes with this story of this photo, which I'll get to in a minute. This is Nora and her cousin Fiona before Fiona started really feeling sick, obviously. And they were doing like Superstar, which was hilarious. I'm so glad I captured this, because this is the only photo I got of them this whole trip, because that's the only time we saw her. This is going to be like a little accordion flip out of our newest Chapman cousin. Well, this is my youngest nephew, little TJ. And I love that picture because he's like smiling. You can't see his bow tie because it would have like cut off my face, but he's so cute. And then on the back of that, I'm going to have this photo of my husband and Nora with TJ. He's even like kind of smiling there. And then Nora giving TJ a bottle. And this might have been her first time giving a baby a bottle, but he ate the whole thing. She did a great job. And then this is Nora and her cousin Justin, another flip up, and it'll be Nora, and that's Fiona. Oh, I guess I got another picture. This was in the morning too. Fiona brought some of her new Christmas presents over, and they were coloring together, which I thought was really cute, so I snuck this photo. But it's also in the morning, same morning. And then I think I'll do my journaling on like where it's hidden, right here. And so this is the kiddos playing Pass the Parcel, which is something my brother-in-law Steven does for all of, let me zoom in, for everybody every year. So he makes one for the kids and one for the big kids. So him and his 4 brothers and or their wives, whoever wants to do it. And it's super fun. He takes like all this candy and goodies and gift cards and wraps them up in saran wrap, and you have to roll the dice to get doubles before you get your turn. So I'm really glad I got a picture of that. And then this isn't the greatest picture, but it's the only one I've got of Nora and her cousin Sutton, who is TJ's older sister. So they're the 2 youngest cousins. And they had like matching outfits on, which was so cute. And Sutton just is the sweetest, most friendly, outgoing little girl. And she wanted to keep hugging Nora. So Nora's going, oh, come here. And Sutton's like, Huggins, running up to Nora and wanting to be held, which was so cute. I think she's just about 2. So yeah, adorable. And then I thought I would use these red stars in the other spots where there won't, you know, be anything. Or I have these circles here, but I don't think I want to bring in green. I think I want to keep it really simple. I've been doing a lot of extra, so this should be pretty straightforward, I hope. So I am going to get started, and I'm trying to decide if I'm going to tape this down or stitch it. I think I'm going to stitch it because I want to stitch the wood stars on. So I'm going to need some thread. It has to be red, obviously, because, you know, I've got a red and gold motif going on. So let me grab my red embroidery thread here. This one is DMC 25. So I am going to split the strands down into 3 instead of having them be 6, and do some stitching to adhere those 2 papers together. All right, guys, I'm going to put you on fast forward. Oh, and story 26, sorry. Story 26 is going to be about day 26, which that didn't always happen in my December dailiness, totally fine. I had a really hard time picking out papers for this, but it's because of the photo. I'll show you. So we went to see Trolls. We were supposed to take Fiona. We were supposed to go to see Migration, but with her being sick, Nora decided to go to see Trolls. So I settled on this black paper with the gold stars and the white insides from last year's collection, because this photo is so colorful, and she's also wearing like pink and purple, and I didn't want to do any traditional green or red. And then I'm going to do a pocket page on the opposite side. Again, these photos are like bright, colorful, not traditional. So I'm going to do a little pocket page, and I've already selected the gathering to do the journaling on. I think it coordinates well with this paper. Have no clue how I'm going to embellish it or what else I'm going to do, but I just want to show you that this is going to be story number 26. So it's about us going to the movies and then going over to Matt's friend's house, Jesse and Erica, and they have 2 daughters. And unfortunately, the one photo I had of Nora and her friend Ruby, who they play together every year pretending to be cats, I deleted off my phone not thinking, and then emptied my deleted album, and so I don't even have it, but it's in my Project Life, so at least I have it somewhere. It's just not going to be in the December daily story. So it's in Project Life week 52. If you guys stick around, by the time this goes up, I'm not sure if I will have shared my Project Life volume 2 flip through, but it's in there. Anyhow, there was a lot of funny things happening, so I am excited to tell these stories and get that going. So now for real, I'm going to put you guys on fast forward and get started on this. So let's go. The first thing I do is add these photos and make sure that they are trimmed to the right size, that they fit just inside the gold borders, and create flip-ups for, well, a flip-up for the top photo, and then for the bottom left cluster of photos, I create another flip open. So that one opens from the right side, and the top one opens from the bottom side. So it flips up and over. And it'll make more sense when you see it finished. I'm just going to do some trimming very carefully with my craft knife and my We Are Memory Keepers little magnetic ruler there. I probably should use the cutting board that it comes with that's magnetic so that it stays in place, but hey, I like to take risks. What can I say? It's funny. I was watching Tori's December Daily videos, and she talked about how she's, for somebody who's so particular, she really eyeballs things quite a bit, and she wanted to know if anybody else did, and I'm like, oh, that's definitely me. I'm not someone who really takes the time to measure things out. I kind of eyeball everything, and I take risks, like doing this, like cutting right on top of the cardstock. Like, why would I? That's not a great choice, but you know, because there's potential to screw up the paper underneath, right? But I didn't, so you know, we're good. Um, that's the cutest photo of my hubby, and then Nora with TJ. He's the sweetest baby. He's just adorable. So once I trim down the photos and get them all adhered, then I can move on to picking the or sewing, not picking the embellishments. Nope. First, I need to sew the paper to the vellum so that it's in place before I start adding my embellishments. But first, I totally forgot. I'm going to add these little tabs, and I decide at this point that's how I'm going to show that you need to open the picture. And I created little slits in the paper to tuck the tags into, which worked great until I really stupidly added redline tape to the back of this pattern paper so that it would attach to story 24. And where I added the redline tape is where the slits were, so you can't use the slits very well, and I tried to use it and I ripped my paper. So in the final photos you will see that I completely jacked that up, but there's nothing I can do about it. I don't have any extra paper. It is what it is. Anyhow, I am looking for different word phrases here, so I chose family time, and I stamped warm, I think warm fire. Yep, warm fire for the top one. And then for the one on the right side of the page, I stamped 25. And I used the Ranger Archival ink by Wendy Vecchi. What's it called? Red Geranium, I want to say, but I could be wrong. Yep, Red Geranium. So yeah, there's the cute little tuck in tab situation that I totally mess up later, which I'm so disappointed in myself, but I also stamped Warm Fire upside down. Oh well. Nobody's perfect, okay? And I'm definitely far from it. I don't pretend to be perfect at all. So there's the die cut. Quickly, through the magic of editing, I sewed the papers together with some embroidery floss, some red DMC embroidery floss that was number 25, I think. And then I'm just adding a couple of brads for texture, not really for function. But clearly I have a gold and red theme and a star theme going on and some circles. So I love adding the sewed sequins to the wood veneer stars with the gold thread because I did that in the first album and I wanted to carry that same technique over into this album. And then I'm just going to pick some word phrase stickers from the red and white sheets I have here to put some sentiments that make sense for the photos. So for the first one, it just says so much joy, and then underneath the flip up it says quiet and cozy. The one of Nora and her cousin Fiona says spreading joy, and then the front of the one of me with TJ says newness because he's new baby, and then the one of my husband and Nora and TJ says together, and then Nora feeding the baby says loving. And this is how the left side of the page turned out. I super love it. And now we're moving on to the right side. So you can see what I'm going to do first is make sure all the photos fit right inside those gold borders. The bottom left photo of Nora and Sutton, I just must have measured wrong. So it's a little bit too small for the space, but it's okay. It's not going to kill me. But when I add the stitching, I think it does look a lot better. So I create a flip up with clear sticker paper, which is a technique I've been using for quite a while. You just take it and stick it to the front photo, and then you fold it to create the hinge, and that folded piece goes on the paper that you're going to want it to flip open to. Then I take the picture of Nora and her cousin playing and put that down, and then I can trim the journaling card at some point. I guess I forget to do it now. Maybe I'll do it later. to go behind the picture of Nora and Justin. Yeah, I do that in a little bit. First, I'm going to put all the pictures down, I think. Once I have all the photos down, I'm going to use this like scrubber pad from Ranger that's actually for cleaning stamps, and I don't use ever for cleaning stamps, as my background for piercing the paper and the vellum with this piercing tool, also from Ranger. That way it don't, you know, create dots and holes everywhere. I made the mistake once and I was like, whoops, I need a different platform behind me. So I'm going to take this embroidery thread, split it into 3 strands instead of the 6 that it comes as, and start going back and forth and back and forth. So that part is, I've sped up to like 8 times the speed because I'm literally just going back and forth between the vellum and the cardstock. And the other thing that I did do on the left side is add that acetate circle that has that sort of snowflake shape in the middle. And I used my gold star brads from Michaels to adhere both the acetate circle and the 25 die cut, so that I'm using the brad in more than one place. And once I get the stitching in, I'm going to work on adding the embellishments. So I end up using the Today's Adventure circle that came, I think, in the Explorer story kit, if I'm not mistaken. But it was the perfect shade of red, and I love that it said Today's Adventure because it was, you know, doing that with the family, doing the Pass the Parcel. It was definitely an adventure, so I'm going to use that. And on top of it, I go through lots of embellishments, and I finally find that the little puffy stars from the main kit, the white one, is going to be the perfect size to cover up the balloon there. One of the things I did to reduce the bulk for the star sticker, because it did stick out quite a bit, was just remove the foam that was on the back and replaced it with glue dots so that it laid more flush to the transparency piece there. And then I'm going to adhere that to the square just using some red line tape because I just find that it sticks a little bit better over time with these plastic pieces than just using my regular adhesive. So I do like to use that to make sure it's secure and doesn't go anywhere. And then I'm going to sew the wood stars on with the gold embroidery thread, just after I quickly embellish these photos with some word phrase stickers. Oh, and I forget that I need to do my journaling, so gotta add that, make sure that fits on the back side of that first photo there. And I will read you the journaling for the whole thing. It says, Christmas morning starts with the 3 of us reading the nativity and birth stories in the Bible. We pray and go down to open gifts and stockings. There's fresh cinnamon buns with cream cheese frosting, and they're the very best. This year, Fiona and Jesse came early before the others, which was good since Fiona ended up getting a high fever and having to go home early. It was a big disappointment to Nora, who was so looking forward to lots of cousin time. And then the second flip up on the right that I'm working on says, once the cousins arrived, it was chaos as usual. Welcomed chaos, of course. Nora, Renee, and Justin started playing. Then Tully and Kit came with Sutton, who's 2, and TJ 4 months. They arrived, which made my day because we hadn't met TJ yet. I held him quite a bit, and Nora loved feeding him. She did a wonderful job, too. We all played Pass the Parcel, which has become tradition. Thanks, Steve. And we won lots of candy and Target and Starbucks gift cards. We had tamales and enchiladas for Christmas as a family, which was new to us. There are 13 adults, 6 kids, 4 dogs, and a cat. So that was definitely a busy day. I hope you guys enjoyed the slow close-ups of those completed stories. Well, I guess mini stories for one big story for day 25 or story 25. And then for story 26, it came together really quickly because it was very simple. I just took this star pattern paper from Allie Edwards and last year, and then I printed this 5x7 picture of Nora in front of the poster at the cinema because we went to see Trolls. And I put a 26 on a clear plastic tag that I got at the craft store because I wanted the vellum to stand out. I didn't want it to blend in with the pattern paper or the photos since the photo is so bright and colorful. And I really like that I chose that decision because I love the gold foiling on the 26. These are from Ellie's Studio. I thought I was going to use the white veneer stars because I've used almost all of the red ones, but I decided to just use the red because I like the red better and I don't want to be a hoarder, so I'm going to use them. Um, I'm just so guilty of hoarding favorite products, and then it's like something new and shiny comes the next year and you're like, I wish I had used that product that I really loved, but I made myself save and now I'm not going to use it. So I used the red stars instead. But anyway, you can see that I've fussy cut out the red stars with the gold border from last year's pattern paper, and I'm going to spread that over the photos, and I'm going to switch out the white veneer stars for red. So I use my thermal web dots to adhere the 26 to the plastic tag in 3 places. It's barely visible, which I like because vellum is hard to adhere without seeing the adhesive behind it. And then I'm going to use another red vellum tag from the add-ons to just add a bit of texture and interest because I didn't want it to just be the tag. I've got to have a tag cluster. So then I'm like, where else can I bring in vellum pieces? And I love the Holly Jolly, but I don't like the circle shape with all of the stars and like the more angular edges of the embellishments I chose. So I end up just using the magic banner on the right, which I used because I have a really hard time using those shapes and I feel like it works well for this story. So I'm going to create this little tag cluster with the redwood veneer star, the vellum tag that says Eat, Drink, and Be Merry, and the number 26. I'm going to tie it all together with this red rickrack that I got at Joann, use my tiny attacher to staple it together, and then I'm going to use the tiny attacher again to staple it to the cardstock. So I really love the way that that turned out. And then once that's down, I'm going to use my Tombow adhesive to make sure Fa La La is stuck to the bottom of the page. And then I'm going to take the red stars that I fussy cut out, and I'm going to tape one of those down to this side of the page. So there's sort of a triangle situation going on. I have the tag cluster of the 26, the red star, and then the Fa La La. I was going to try to bring in some of these stickers, but I ended up not doing that. And then here's where you see that I'm like, nope, this vellum circle is not going to make the cut. I'm going to use red line tape for the back of this ho 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 sign because this die cut is going to sit outside the page protector. It's perfect because of the photo of Nora dressed like her crazy Santa Claus that she was doing and being so silly, but it also kind of ties in like the Fa La La die cut as well. I feel like they're similar fonts and styles, so it works really well together. And it also covers up some of that photo, like the background behind Nora, which is kind of just like empty space, right? Like it's like a side table with some blankets on it. And it wasn't, it's not like ugly, but it's not, it doesn't really lend itself to the spread at all. It's just sort of blank space that I want to cover up. So now I'm just kind of playing around with where I want to position the wood veneer stars and the cardstock stars that I cut out of the pattern paper. I get very picky about it, but I want it to look balanced. I want your eye to be able to travel around the page without it looking too busy, but also wanting there to be like a movement. So that's what I do. And then I'm able to do my journaling, which this one says, Matt, Nora, and I went to the new Trolls movie, Trolls Band Together matinee. It was hilarious. Lots of boy band references for the adults. Nora loved it too. Then, with bellies full of candy and popcorn, we went to Jesse and Erica's house for tacos. We get to see Matt's friends every year when we go to Michigan if they're available. Nora and Ruby play so well together, even though they only see each other once a year. They always dress up, and this year Nora was extra silly, speaking her invented language, putting on a nonsense show, and acting like Santa. She had us all cracking up. Poor Ruby and Chloe had no idea what they were in for. So once I get these stars down, I'm just using my scrapbook.com glue, which I absolutely love, by the way. Once I get that adhered down, that's basically going to be it for story 26. I love these 2 stories, and I can't believe that I've finished creating 15 stories in like a week and a half. That's crazy. But I guess when the creativity is there, you just got to go with it, right? So I'd love to know what you think of these stories and how they were documented. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss all the content that's coming and that has passed. Thank you so much for being here. Take care of yourselves, friends, and remember that you are enough. See you in the next video. Bye.